Forest Ranger Chris Johnson at Ranger Station A sights a fire in the direction of north 32 degrees west. Ranger Rick Thorpe at Ranger Station B, 10 miles due east of A, sights the same fire on a line of north 48 degrees west. Find the distance from each ranger station to the fire. All right, so to help ourselves out, let's just put a little northeast southwest plot on the graph here or on our paper. So I have this. We'll say north, east, south, and west. And Station A sights a fire in the direction of north 32 degrees west. I'm going to say that A is at the origin for now. So I'll put A there. Let me put it in red, a different color, so it stands out. So we're going to say here is A right there. Now he sights the fire at, red, north 32 degrees west. So north, and then we go 32 to the west. So something like that. This is the line that he spots the fire. All right, so let me put this on there as that is 32 degrees there. Now, Ranger Rick Thorpe at Ranger Station B, 10 miles due east of A. So B is east of A. So here's A. So if I went 10 miles this way and I put a B, this would be 10 miles. That's Rick Thorpe. He sights the same fire on a line of north 48 degrees west. So north for him would be straight up like this. That's north. Then we go 48 degrees west. And so we're going to say that our fire is here. And he would see this. Let me put another kind of line up here that would represent north, and I'll do it as a dotted line. So you can see this, how this all plays out. This is on the line of north as well. So north, and this would be 48 degrees west. And we want to know what's the distance that both of them are from the fire. So I'm working with this triangle here. And here's what we can establish. We know this is 90 degrees, and this is 32 degrees. So if we added those together, we could say that angle A equals 122 degrees. Now I got that since 90 plus the 32 equals 122. That's where I got angle A. It's 90 plus that 32 there. So that's angle A. Now B, we know is 48 degrees there. So we could determine B is going to be 42 degrees. Since here we have a 90, and put it on this side. We have a 90. That was very ugly. Let me try one more time. 90 minus 48. So we have 90 minus 48 equals 42 degrees. So we now know this is 42, and this is 128 from here to here. And so can we find this angle up here and use law signs? Yes, we can. So the fire angle, we'll call this C up here. C equals, we'd add those two together and subtract from 180, and we're going to get 10 degrees, I believe, since 180 minus 128 minus 42 degrees equals, and I think if I did my math right, that would be 10 degrees. And so now we know this is 10 here. Now that I know that's 10, I can use law signs. So what I'm going to do is I will say that sine of 10 degrees over this length of 10 miles, will equal, I'll put miles down here so you see where that came from, will equal sine of, if I want to find this length here, I use the angle across, which is 42, over, and this length, since it's across from angle B, would be a B, which will also equal sine of 128 is across from length A. Sine of 128 over A. And I'm just going to do insolve for these. And so when I clear my calculator, you'll see the math. You could cross multiply and divide each one of these individually, but I'm just going to end solve, and so I'd go mini 3, 1. Now here's the deal. You cannot do all of them at once. At least I don't know how to do all of them at once. So I'm just going to do one fraction at a time. So I'll start with the sine of 10 degrees. Oops. Sine of 10 degrees over 10. And we're going to set this equal to sine of 42 degrees over my b. And that gives me length b. And then I'm going to do the same thing again, except this time I'm going to change the 42 to a 128. And this is now going to find length a, like that. So those are my two links here. So now that I have those, I can write out my answer. That a would equal 38. I'm going to do this in miles, so to the nearest tenth. 38.5 miles. And b would equal 45 point. Oh, I got these out of order. I'm sorry. A is 45.4 miles, and B is 38.5 miles. And those would be our answers here. So the first, Chris Johnson, this length is angle B. That's Chris Johnson. So I'll put in here CJ, Chris Johnson. And then this one up here was for Rick Thorpe, so I'll put RT. That's that distance.